In 1966, one of the most brilliant yet highly controversial Islamic thinkers of the 20th century published a book that shook the Muslim world to its very core. The author was Maulana Abul A'la Maududi, the founder of the Jamaat-e Islami. The book, Khilafat-e-malookiat, Caliphate and Monarchy. Maududi's thesis was revolutionary. He argued that early Islam didn't just experience a change in rulers, it suffered a catastrophic, systemic collapse. The transparent, democratic, and morally pure system of the rightly guided caliphs, Khilafat-e-Rashida, was violently hijacked and replaced by a hereditary, worldly, and vindictive monarchy, Malookiat. But here is the real tragedy. While Maududi's book exposed the corruption of historical kingdoms, his modern-day followers have completely deviated from his original teachings for political survival. Even worse, traditional sectarian clerics have spent decades trying to ban, burn, or bury this book. Why? Because the truth inside it exposes a massive crisis in modern Islamic scholarship. Today, we look at the raw, unfiltered data, the evidence, the cover-ups, and the dangerous price of speaking the truth. To understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we must first look at Maududi's own movement. Maududi envisioned an uncompromising Islamic revival based on Hakimiyya, divine sovereignty, and Khilafat-e-Awam, popular vicegerency. He believed leaders must be chosen strictly through free public consultation, or shura, based entirely on high moral character. Yet his modern followers across Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh have traded his revolutionary ideology for pragmatic, back-alley electoral politics. Look at the history. In 1970s Pakistan, the Jamaat-e Islami closely aligned itself with the military dictatorship of General Zia-ul-Haq. By legitimizing a military ruler who overthrew a government by force, the followers directly violated Maududi's core warning against allowing brute force to dictate political authority. Today, they routinely form coalitions with heavily dynastic, secular political parties. Factions in Bangladesh even watered down strict religious references in their party constitutions just to stay eligible for secular parliamentary systems. They turned an ideological vanguard into a standard, power-hungry bureaucracy. When Khilafat-e-malookiat first came out, traditionalist clerics attacked Maududi. They claimed he invented a Shia narrative and slandered the Prophet's companions, or Sahaba. But fast forward to the digital age. Independent scholars, most notably Pakistan's highly popular digital preacher, Engineer Muhammad Ali Mirza, have delivered a definitive vindication of Maududi's text. Mirza's argument is simple. Maududi didn't invent anything. He just bound authentic Sunni hadiths into a single volume. And if you don't believe Maududi, you have to answer to Sheikh Muhammad Nasiruddin al-Albani, the 20th century's master Salafi hadith authority. Albani clinically tested the transmission chains of these historical events and declared them 100% sahih, authentic. Let's look at the first explosive case study, the birth of dynastic monarchy. When the transition of power shifted to Yazid, the son of Hazrat Muawiyah, state authorities began forcing a public pledge of allegiance, or bay'ah. In Sahih al-Bukhari, it is explicitly recorded that the prominent companion, Abdurrahman ibn Abi Bakr, stood up in the Mosque of Medina and fiercely resisted. He openly told the state governor, Marwan, "This is the sunnah of the Roman Caesar and the Persian Khusros." Think about that. The Sahaba themselves explicitly recognized that turning leadership into a hereditary family heirloom was a direct imitation of pagan imperial empires. Sheikh Albani verified this text as authentic. It gets heavier. Case study number 2, the state-sponsored cursing of Imam Ali from the public pulpits. In Sahih Muslim, it is recorded that Hazrat Muawiyah questioned the great companion Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, asking him directly, "What prevents you from cursing Abu Turab, Imam Ali?" Sa'd fiercely refused, citing 3 massive spiritual virtues of Ali he heard directly from the Prophet, including the famous Hadith of Manzila, "You are to me as Aaron was to Moses." Now, classical commentators like Imam an-Nawawi and even modern Salafis like Sheikh Albani tried to use complex linguistic gymnastics to soften this text. They argued it was a casual question or an error in scholarly judgment, ijtihad, to protect the reputation of the early generation. But Engineer Mirza blows this defense wide open. He points out that Saad's high-stakes defensive reply proves he was facing severe state pressure. This practice was so widespread and systemic across the empire that it took a righteous Umayyad caliph, Umar ibn Abdulaziz, to officially ban it decades later, strategically replacing the state-mandated curses with the famous Quranic command for justice in Surah An-Nahl, verse 90. This brings us to the ultimate question. If this data is printed clearly in Sahih Muslim and Sahih al-Bukhari and verified by master scholars like Albani, why do modern traditionalist clerics launch massive damage control campaigns? Why do they issue fatwas against anyone who talks about it? The answer is simple: fear and survival. First, look at the geopolitical trap within Salafism. Engineer Mirza frequently praises the foundational Ahli Hadith and Salafi methodology for its strict commitment to following the text over ancestral traditions. However, under the geopolitical reality of the Saudi kingdom, a quietist theology is strictly enforced. This theology mandates absolute obedience to the monarch. Independent, globally respected Salafi scholars who tried to speak truth to power, question monarchical authority, or highlight these historical texts have been systematically silenced, jailed, or disappeared. Second, look at the sectarian trap in South Asia. The traditional madrasa network operates as a rigid power and financial hub. When a mainstream scholar attempts to cross sectarian boundaries to speak these truths, the system strikes back violently. Take Maulana Tariq Jamil of the Tablighi Jamaat, Deoband. When he bravely preached Ummah-wide unity, expressed deep emotional reverence for the family of the Prophet, Ahl al-Bayt, and validated these raw historical realities, he faced immense internal vitriol, character assassination, and direct death threats from extremist factions within his own school. Traditional institutions demand that you hide the unvarnished facts of history to protect ancestral figures, political hierarchies, and institutional funding. But Allah commands absolute, uncompromising justice in the Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, verse 135. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. The ultimate takeaway is clear. Sheikh Albani verified the historical bricks, Maulana Maududi identified the systemic collapse, and Engineer Muhammad Ali Mirza digitized the text for the masses. You cannot claim to love the pristine sunnah of the Prophet while simultaneously defending the historical and modern political systems that dismantled it. True Islam belongs to the authenticated text, not to the fear-driven silence of modern clerics. Open the books, read the chains of narration, and stand firmly with the truth. What are your thoughts on Khilafat-e-malookiat and the evolution of these modern movements? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next video.